Chaperones of middle school dances. What's the most shocking thing you've witnessed? Middle school teacher here. My personal favorite is always the group of boys in the corner sitting on the ground playing Yu-Gi-Oh. That might have been my boyfriend. Not particularly bad, but we had a boy in the grade above me who was a total Casanova. Every dance in middle school he had to find a new girl to make out with. Sloppily and in front of everyone. One time his mom decided to chaperone and he still went to Mactown with a girl. I'll never forget the look on his face when she was dragging him out by his ear. When I was 16, my mom tried to get me to date her friend's daughter. I told her I had a girlfriend. My mom said, well, you can have her on the side then. My mom is not the paragon of morality. I looked after a year 8 dance. It was at my school, all girls school, and we invited their brother school. The girls were all flattered that the boys were asking for their numbers. Turns out the boys were told by a teacher that they would get a lollipop for every number they got. Classic 12-year-olds want candy more than girls. Plot twist, the teacher collected all the numbers. My English teacher in 10th grade, who's as old as dirt, literally taught the same class to my father 35 years prior, saw 2 freshmen, girl with her dress up, guy with his pants undone, having sex in the middle of the dance floor at my homecoming. Not the usual the way you kids dance today makes me sick, but she said she was surprised that someone that stupid was at least wearing a condom. At my high school there was a couple that cut a hole in a dress and did it in public at prom. Nothing really happened at my middle school though, aside from tons of growing weed on campus yo. We had a spring dance at our high school that had a very nightclub vibe. My English teacher was new to the school. He was really young and volunteered to be a chaperone. That Monday in class he looked pretty horrified and decided to get real with us. He said he had never seen such behavior, grinding, kissing, touching, etc. And he would go to actual nightclubs with adults. He was just shocked. He never chaperoned ever again. Yeah, I am not surprised. Adults have their own living spaces to get back to. Teenagers don't so much. I asked an 8th grader how her dance was after babysitting her little brother. She said there was a girl fight that escalated into a brawl because one girl said another girl's dad was cute. 8th grade girls are among the scariest things that roam our planet. Kid had his girlfriend in the corner, skirt hiked up, 2 fingers deep into her. All of his friends were acting the lookout barriers and strategically standing in the way of all of the chaperones. I was not one, but eyewitness said actor to dance, so it totally counts. I don't know if they got caught because young me was mortified at what I was seeing. Those were some bros. Turning the thread around a bit, my school wasn't allowed to take senior class trips because on a previous trip, the teachers and chaperones got drunk and started the hotel on fire. This is my favorite. I wasn't a chaperone, but I literally saw a girl getting hardcore fingered in the bus by some other 12-year-old boy. Couldn't believe it. It was during a slow dance, and folks say romance is dead. My little cousin had a dance party in her parents' game room. Had a disco ball, pizza, drinks, a real DJ, all that jazz. I was one of the chaperones and we kept a great eye on everything. We were paying attention to who went to the bathroom and how long. Nobody was allowed out of the game room without supervision. We did not leave them unmatched, not even for 1 minute. 2 months later my cousin, the little cousin's mom, calls me to say that she has some parents very angry at her because their daughter is pregnant and says it happened at our party. The little boy told his mom and also said it happened at our party. All the other kids at the party are contacted and sure enough, they all claim these kids had sex at the party. How? When? These are questions that will haunt me till I die. How can little kids have sex like ninjas? How? The DJ was having 8th grade girls climb up on the stage to dance with him, and by dance I mean grind. I was screaming at them to get off the stage and at him for being a perv. What the fuuakmayan? Not a chaperone, but a girl at my school was caught having sex with a parent at the dance who was chaperoning. It was in the news. Nasty stuff. In this specific situation I would say that it was the dad who got caught. Not middle school, but a good memory. I went to an all boys Catholic high school which was run by an order of brothers. One of the brothers, in his 60s, would chaperone some of the dances at which girls came from surrounding towns. One time a friend and I caught him staring at a group of scantily dressed girls in awe of their provocative attire. We jokingly asked, "Brother, what are you staring at?" To which he replied, "Just because I'm fasting doesn't mean I can't look at the menu." He was a funny guy. I too go to an all-guys school run by an order of brothers, and this sounds like something one of them would do. Not exactly the prompt, but related. My middle school had to indefinitely cancel the band's semi-annual fundraising spaghetti dinners after two couples were caught fricking in the bathroom at the fall dinner. Both girls got pregnant. We were in the 8th grade. I would not have wanted to be the chaperone on that one. You know the fricked up part? One of those girls missed her 7th grade year cause she got preggo in the 6th grade. Screuston pride. One of those girls missed her 7th grade year cause she got preggo in the 6th grade. What the actual frick? Cousin was a chaperone at a junior prom once. She is American and I am British. Apparently two girls were offering blowjobs to boys who could bring the most alcohol and drugs without being caught. Another chaperone saw the girls kept going into the bathrooms, went in, saw that happening as well as kids doing lines of coke on toilet seat lids. Here's the best part. Girl 1 had to walk out of the bathroom with CM on her dress while everyone outside who knew what she was doing in there stopped to watch her. Cousin never chaperoned again. And she got paid to do it, too. I don't care what you all say happened. You put Cupid Shuffle and that everybody clap your hands crap on and everything stopped. Everyone and their mother was sliding to the left, slide to the right, cha-cha real smooth. The school refused to let a student gay couple dance, and they were escorted out, embarrassed in front of everyone. It was really bad. Thankfully, school officials were later reprimanded by parents of both straight and gay students, and the policy was changed for good. No gays allowed there. That'll do it. I just started teaching at a local middle school. One of my students had her parents volunteer to chaperone the school dance. When they got there I could tell they were a little uncomfortable, maybe because they were really dressed up, so I went over to say hi. The dad kept making eyes at me and I heard the wife make a comment about it while I ran off to yell at some kids for having their hands where I could see them. Everyone was having a good time, with the exception of the some kid licking another kid's eyeball, when I heard a slap and turned around to see the mom run off crying while the dad just stood in the middle of the dance floor, looking overwhelmed. A few of my students said the mom was crying to them in the girls' bathroom, but the next time I saw them they were jamming on the dance floor alongside all the middle school students. It was clear they had a little something to drink in the meantime. They were getting pretty handsy and making a scene, to the point where I had to go up to them and ask them to tone it down a little. The dad promptly grabbed the mom's butt. I tried to tell them they were being inappropriate but no one was listening to me, as they were slurring their words and falling over the place. Then, the mom throws up all over the dad, who starts panicking and trying to take his shirt off, screaming that he's going to get sick. None of the other chaperones wanted to go near that, so I ended up having two of my students escort them out. The students said they were picked up by a pink Hummer limo outside the school. Craziest part is my student, their daughter, wasn't even there. She had been invited to a different school dance that same night. This sounds like Bob's Burgers. Not a chaperone, but would guess both genders actually interacting with each other is pretty shocking at a middle school dance. You'd be surprised, mate. They're like a bunch bunny rabbits high on life and MTV. My aunt recently told me about chaperoning her daughter's school dance. She was monitoring the halls when she heard some noises coming from near the locker rooms. When she opened the door she found a boy with his foot up a girl's skirt. Their excuse? They were just play kicking each other and his foot accidentally landed there when my aunt walked in. SHHH. You have to be quiet when I'm kick fricking you. Been there, done that. My wife is a vice principal of a K-12 charter school, and I am the attorney coach for the school's mock trial team. I was chaperoning a middle school dance with her, and things are going fine. The kids are dancing, the DJ is playing appropriate music, kids are eating pizza, and there are no bathroom shenanigans. I'm standing in the corner of the auditorium looking out over the crowd of kids when I catch a glimpse out of the corner of my eye. There was an incredibly mentally disabled girl twerking directly behind me with her butt inches from me. I have no idea how long she had been doing that, but I quickly walked over to the other faculty and asked a female teacher to go stand with her and make sure she behaves appropriately. I spent the rest of the night trying to figure out if we were going to get sued. It freaked the heck out of me. I was a rep, so I was involved with running welcome week for first years. My friend and I were on door duty to make sure people don't come in the back door and were supposed to make sure nothing bad happens. We saw two people making out on a couch and the guy was fingering the girl. Neither of us wanted to approach them, so we turned our heads and waiting till they left. I wasn't the chaperone and this didn't happen at a middle school. It wasn't a dance and I wasn't the one who witnessed it, but I wasn't exactly a chaperone, but I was working at a sandwich shop at 10 at night. A very young couple walks in, obviously just getting done with a school dance. They order a sandwich and sit in the corner. I take a smoke break in the back alley. When I start walking back, they are full on humping doggy style at the end of the alley behind a dumpster. I laughed super hard and went inside to tell my friend. The kid came in and grabbed his sandwich and I made eye contact, giving him a high five with me eyes. Me eyes. An 8th grader asking a 7th grade teacher to dance because he mistook her for a student. To be fair, many of the parents visiting for conferences would mistake her for a student, too. Not middle school and not a chaperone, but when I was student VP of the school, the principal told me about his first experience as principal during homecoming. Basically, the whole night was a success until the end when they turned on the lights and the crowd dispersed. There was a girl completely naked and pee drunk on the floor just laying there. She was fine, but obviously as a first year principal, for this to happen he was scared for his job. Life went on just fine for everybody. Not middle school and not a chaperone. Nice start to your answer. High school Harvard model and dance. Sorry, it's not middle school, but this was so fricked up it has to be shared. Everywhere you looked there was people making out, and the grinding was out of control. Crap really hit the fan when two people decided it was okay to start fricking right on the dance floor. God dang it, Matt from Algeria. The lights came on early and the dance ended due to inappropriate behavior. We were all sent back to our rooms, and the hotel went into immediate lockdown and the curfew was moved forward. The hotel had 2 wings each with a tower that you could see the other from. Girls started stripping in the windows and dancing. Definitely one of the weirdest nights of my life. Matt from Algeria. When I chaperoned for the first time and realized that there were 3 groups of 5-6 boys or girls just standing on the dance floor talking. Like, just standing there with music blaring from speakers right next to their head. I was so confused. Then the lone dancing boy with no shame who dances horribly. I was a student and we had a dance in the gym of our school. There were 2 people having sex against one of the pillars of the gym. 8th graders. Our high school doesn't have homecoming anymore because one year someone got caught giving a blowjob on the dance floor. There was 2 areas. A cafeteria area where most of the boys were hanging out. Then a gym converted into the dance floor, where most of the girls were at. Started the night in the gym. A little girl who looked maybe 10 years old was wearing a very small tight black skirt, and she dropped her purse. She bent over at the waist. The skirt slid more than half over her butt. She wasn't wearing any underwear, and flashed about half of the dance floor. There wasn't gasps or anything, but a lot of people noticed and some boys were pointing and laughing. At first I felt really sorry for her, and then I thought, well, there's nothing I can really do or say here. Then I looked around the room and realized most of these girls aren't wearing bras, and probably were not wearing much else. Later, that girl who flashed everyone was making out a boy. I saw so much drama, like girls crying over boys or arguing with each other. When one song or another song would come on, all of the girls would scream and get excited. I didn't have earplugs and the screaming got loud, so I found another parent to trade places with me. One boy started trouble with another boy, and it was clear the troublemaker was a drunk 8th grader. It occurred to me that a couple of these really annoying and loud ones were drunk. I smelled weed a couple times. Topping that all off, when the students left we found in the gym alone a pair of boys' pants, 2 pairs of girls' panties, 1 bra, a broken weed pipe, and a condom wrapper. The bathrooms were worse apparently. This school had a unisex handicap bathroom that was a makeout orgy room. When that was busted, we had to put a teacher or parent next to every bathroom door, and a couple more kids were caught coming out of the wrong bathrooms. I know that at least one boy and girl were caught naked together in the locker rooms. Never again. Dang, I am late, but when I was in middle school a few years ago, a guy and a girl left the dance to go to a classroom. He tried to get her to give him oral and a tracher walked in on them. She threw him under the bus so she wouldn't get in trouble, and he was suspended for like 2 weeks and almost got a rape charge. Not a chaperone but an attendee. The local police athletic center was having a dance for middle schoolers. While walking around with my friend hanging in the back like the socially awkward youth we were, I saw a guy with his pants around his ankles and a girl who had what I can only describe as an oversized belt for a skirt with her leg up and around her partner. I didn't think too much of it, even after I saw them get escorted off the dance floor. It was years later that I figured it out. When I was in junior high, there was a mosh pit going on in the gym started by 7 or 8 guys. One of the oldest female teachers went in to try and apprehend one of them, and he accidentally swung around while moshing and punched her in the face. He booked it out the door. High school, but this one time the DJ played the song The Bad Touch really loud. Our schedule counselor had her 2 7-year-old kids there too. I never cringed so hard in my life. Once witnessed a kid trying to put his hand down a girl's pants while slow dancing. I'm sorry for dong blocking you, little dude, but you gotta do that behind closed doors. Jesus, just what countries are these stories from? I didn't have that sort of stuff in any of my schools, and I'm not old at 22 years of age, so it's not like my time was a different time. I'm certain that they're all from America. I too am from America, but was far too fat and awkward to have such awesome things happen to me in middle school. Just saying. I live here so I can believe it. When I was in middle school, I witnessed 2 boys nibbling on each other's ears. It was hilarious at the time, but also disturbing nonetheless. DJ here. I feel so dirty playing tunes and the kids dance dirty. I once witnessed an 8th grader kid with his hand up this girl's dress holding her butt while dancing. Girl was texting during assembly, wasn't supposed to have a cell phone out. I should also state that this was several years ago. Few people that age had cell phones. This was a private, Christian middle school. Rich kids and rich parents equals cell phone at 13. The girls wore skirts during assembly, chapel, whatever. This will be important later. She kept looking around to make sure nobody could see her, and then when she realized she'd been spotted, hilarity ensued. She took her tiny, foldable, flip phone and inserted it into her hoo-ha. Thanks to the skirt. Easy access, I suppose. Seeing as this was incredibly obvious, she was escorted to the office. She was the talk of the town for like 3 days. I never followed up. Willful ignorance. Not a chaperone, but I was attending a dance a while back in 6th grade. Some kid with a mental illness grabbed a girl's crotch. She was crying the rest of the night. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.